Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fallout 76, where today we're going to explore one of the side quests from the base game. It's called Cold Case, and while many of us have completed this quest, it's easy to have missed some of the little details surrounding us that tell us a lot about pre-war Appalachia and why it's in such a terrible state today. Remember, if you like videos like this and you want to see more, do go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and let me know. There's always a lot more to come on the channel, and I hope you'll stick around. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. We uncover this quest while exploring Wavy Willard's water park, a place that was once full of families, fun, and overpriced concessions, and is now infested with Scorched. As we explore the park and clear them out, we'll encounter a robot named Miss Annie.
Excusez-moi, user. You're here to find Freddy?
We have multiple dialogue options here, but this is one of the original game quests, so they all lead to the same place. Who's Freddy?
Freddy is my little lost boy. He has been gone ever so long. His father, he put a tracker on Freddy that the lovely boy could not remove. But on that terrible day, it stopped. The policemen, they tried. It was simple. Clues were found here. Then came all of this. My Freddy, he was not found.
It sounds like he went missing before the war then. That was a long time ago.
He could live, no? You live, so he could. Such a clever boy. Now maybe a man. Such a long time to wait for word of mon petit chou.
So you want me to pick up where the police left off then?
Oh yes, there are certainly clues inside the security office. But Nanny, she cannot bypass privacy protocol. To enter the security office is unauthorized. Maybe you can enter.
So because Miss Annie can't bypass the privacy protocol on the computer system, we need to head to the security office, dig into a terminal, and see what park personnel might have known about the incident. The security office is located on the south end of the park, and when we get there, we're going to encounter a skill lock 2 door. On this character, I don't have any pick lock skills equipped. Fortunately, if we just look around a little bit, we'll see that the building is not all that secure after all these years, and one of the walls has collapsed. We can just walk right in. When we find the park security terminal, we find that it is not locked with a password or anything. We can just open it right up. So perhaps Miss Nanny's restriction wasn't based on the security system itself, but simply her own privacy protocols maybe didn't allow her to break certain rules and access certain systems. Inside the terminal, we see a variety of options, operations, alerts, and holotape review. Most of these entries are not related to this quest. They're just a little bit of background on the park, the kind of thing you would expect to see at an amusement park for communications between management and staff. Things about birthday parties, extended hours, etc., etc. To keep this video moving along, we're going to focus on the ones that are relevant. In the operations section, we see an entry titled Holotape Reviews.
To all employees, subject holotapes. All employees who are assisting in the review should report to the underground section of the staff area where the past month's holotapes are stored. Check in with the security supervisor on duty there so your time is recorded correctly. Your help is greatly appreciated. Management.
The park staff was enlisted to help review security holotapes. Now if we look in the alert section, we see 2 entries of interest. The first one is titled Trespassing.
Notice to all employees. In the early morning hours on October 15th, a section of our park fence was scaled by an intruder. This individual attempted to break into the storerooms in the underground employee restricted area, but was disturbed in the act of prying the door open by our alert watchman. This criminal ran off and managed to escape his just punishment. This doesn't seem to be the local kids, because commie propaganda denouncing the war effort was dropped as the intruder fled. The police have been alerted to the possibility of a plot and are on the lookout. If you have any information to provide, contact management immediately.
Next, we'll find an entry specifically about the kidnapping.
Notice to all employees. Everyone has heard about the missing child, Freddy, who may have been kidnapped from our very own water park as part of some anti-war protest. Management and our security staff are working closely with the Grafton police to find the child. Any employee that's able to come in to help review security holotapes will be paid overtime for the hours they spend.
This confirms that the holotape review the employees were asked to take part in was directly related to the kidnapping. And the park was even willing to pay overtime, which is pretty rare for that kind of facility. If we look at the holotape reviews, there are a number of entries, most of which include nothing of interest, but a few give us some clues.
October 19th, day shift notes. Looked at Slither Slide and Kitty Slide for 12 hours. Found a tape that is probably the kid getting nabbed at the Slither. I think the kid knew the guy. Put it in the security office safe till the feds or whoever can come get it. Pete. October 23rd, 3 hours of concessions. Got a guy acting real weird about a package. Might be the same guy as that slide tape. Setting it aside, I'll bring it to the office end of shift. Tom.
Now we've learned that Freddy likely knew his kidnapper, that there may be some kind of anti-war sentiment going on behind it, and that he was also involved with a suspicious package somewhere in the park. Our next step is to find these holotapes. One of them is in the security office safe right where we are now. This is a level 0 lock, so it doesn't take much effort to get into. We can find the Wavy Willard's Water Park Slither Slide 10/17/2077 daily security tape and give it a listen.
Hey there, Freddy. Hey, where's your nanny? You know what? I have a surprise for you. I don't want the other kids to see, though. They might get jealous.
What is it? What's my surprise? I want to see it. Please. Please. Where is it?
I don't think your nanny will like it. Let's take off your ID there so she can't find you, and then I can take you to the surprise. Oh, what's that sound, boys and girls? Slither slide! Swoosh! Splash!
So we hear the voice of our kidnapper and Freddy, and the kidnapper definitely sounds more than a little creepy. To get to the next clue, we need to find the underground employee area that they mentioned in the terminal. It's located just underneath Croccolossus Mountain. When we find our way inside, we can look around a little bit and we'll find another holotape stored in a cabinet. This one's titled Wavy Willard's Water Park Log Ride Entry, again dated 10/17/2077. Let's give it a listen.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Wavy Willard's Water Park. How can I help?
Howdy. Was wondering where that box is for the mail, the one that puts a special stamp on the ladder.
Oh, you can find it over by the Croccolossus Mountain entrance. Right over that way.
Now we've firmly established that the kidnapping took place on October 17th. Don't let the dates of those terminal entries confuse you. That's when the terminal entries were made, not when the recordings were made. They were both made on October 17th, 6 days before the war. Now we need to search a little further. We need to find Freddy's ID, which should be at the top of the Slither Slide, but we can also search the mailbox right outside the entrance to Croccolossus Mountain. We see a little ad here. It says, "Hey kids, drop your mail here and get a fun Wavy Willard stamp on it." So they wanted people to send their mail from there, likely some overpriced postcards they purchased in the gift shop, to send home to family and show off what a fun time they were having at Wavy Willard's. But it looks like our kidnapper had another use for this mailbox. Let's search inside, where we find two things. We find a note about Clarksburg P.O. Box 12. P.O. Box 12, postage guaranteed, do not duplicate. I'm guessing this is a key to P.O. Box 12. It doesn't specify that, but that's what it must be. And then we find letter to the media. addressed specifically to Quinn Carter, the reporter famous for her interactions with Sam Blackwell, who we've met in a prior lore video. Let's see what our kidnapper had to say to Quinn Carter of the Charleston Herald.
Miss, this key lets you open my box with all the evidence you need. I sent it to you because the truth has got to come out. You're Appalachia's most trusted news source, and people will listen to you if you do an investigation. Grafton Steel has been violating safety standards and getting people killed with the toxic sludge they're dumping into the water. They shouldn't get away with this just because they're doing military work for the war. Little kids are dying.
So now we have a little bit of motivation behind our kidnapper. It sounds like he's concerned that Grafton Steel is polluting the environment and that people are getting killed with toxic sludge that they're dumping into the water. We know that's true just from exploring the area and seeing other little bits and pieces of lore about Grafton Steel. And it sounds like they might be getting away with it, or maybe getting less oversight because they're a military contractor. So this gives us a little bit more context to everything. Next, we're going to need to climb to the top of the slither slide and look for Freddy's Kid Secure ID. We find it in a yellow wooden crate right near the entrance to the slide. Maybe this was something that got used as sort of a lost and found, or a place for people to secure some belongings that might be dangerous before they go down the slide. When we take it out of the box and give it a look, it doesn't actually tell us a whole lot. Simply saying Kid Secure keeps your kids safe, serial number 132563, made for Freddy Wood. Now we've got a last name, status error. And that's all we've got. So his biometric Kid Secure ID is no longer functioning. And now we have two new quest objectives. One is to go to the Clarksburg post office and check out that post office box. And another is to use a tinker's bench to fix the Kid Secure. We also find that some mirelurks have popped up out of the pool beneath the slither slide. Once we dispatch them, we can head off to Clarksburg. I'm going to go ahead and wait to repair the Kid Secure just in case. I don't want to be in a position where it's going to fast forward the quest for us, so I don't think it actually does that, but just in case, we'll play it safe and we'll wait till the end to meet that objective. Let's head on over to Clarksburg. Get there, we can see what remains of what looks like a massive protest. Signs laying on the ground, graffiti on vehicles, and even makeshift catwalks leading to what appear to be snipers' posts on top of some of the buildings. In my video on the Sons of Dane Rogers mentioned something about an incident in Clarksburg. I'm guessing this is that incident. Perhaps it radicalized some of the locals and got them thinking about bugging out. Clarksburg may have been a bit of a company town at one point before the war, but it looks like the tide was turning just before the bombs fell. Once we do find the post office, we find a Protectron waiting inside, one of many that currently inhabit the town, along with a variety of anti-communist propaganda posters on the walls. It's exactly the kind of thing you'd expect to see in a government office during such a hyper-nationalistic time. Those days are long gone, but the images from that time still remain. And those posters aren't just here for the customers. We also see them on the walls in the sorting room to remind employees to be vigilant, that the communists are watching. Our quest marker is pointing us to a terminal, but before we go there, we're going to try and find box 12. If we look around here, there's one that requires a lockpick skill to open, but here it is, Clarksburg P.O. Box 12. When we open it with the key the kidnapper failed to send to Quinn Carter, we find two pieces of information, starting with confidential safety data.
Mr. Wood, as requested, here are the safety numbers for the past quarter. I've made the adjustments you've recommended in the revised list. These numbers are much better. Original, first quarter 2077, deaths 31, dismemberments 12, sickness 123. Revised, first quarter 2077, deaths on premises 2, dismemberments on premises 6, sickness confirmed by company doctor 13. Stacy Tibbetts, HR manager, Grafton Steel.
Well, despite how creepy our kidnapper may have sounded, it does appear that he's provided the information he promised. We have evidence here that Grafton Steel knew about damage it was doing, health problems it was causing, people it was killing, but it chose to spin those numbers in favor of making the company look good, with deaths on premises instead of deaths, dismemberments on premises, sickness confirmed by company doctor instead of actual sicknesses. So you can see exactly what they were doing there, limiting reports, fudging the numbers, spinning the data to make themselves look better than they are. They still look pretty bad, but at least they don't look as bad with these numbers. Now, the interesting thing here, too, is it's addressed to Mr. Wood. Our kidnapping victim is Freddy Wood, so perhaps Freddy is Mr. Wood's son. I guess we'll find out. Let's take a look at the other note. This one's titled Important Memo.
Grafton Steel Memorandum to all employees from Stacy Tibbetts, HR Manager. I'm pleased to announce that Grafton Steel has officially been named a government-preferred war contractor. Our efforts, your efforts, will defeat the commies. With this news comes exciting changes. Effective immediately, all shifts will begin working a 672 schedule to make our production quota. Remember, with your 12-hour shift, you will get a half an hour for lunch at your workstation and 3 15-minute breaks. Under the Wartime Workers Act, you'll be given time and a half pay for the 11th and 12th hour of each day, so there's some extra money coming your way. Hooray! Sick time is no longer paid. A doctor's note is required for any absence. Support the war effort at Grafton Steel. Stacy Tibbetts, HR Manager, Grafton Steel, Company Confidential.
Now it's becoming clear why Grafton Steel employees in this company town were so disgruntled. The company became a war contractor that gave them special power. While the government subsidized a little bit of overtime pay, it also allowed them to prohibit people from taking sick days and demand extensive work hours, working their employees 6 days a week, 12 hours a day in a steel factory. That is not easy work. And here we have the company once again spinning this to their advantage. It's all starting to come together. Once we've seen the contents of the post office box, we can head over to the terminal at the desk. There are a number of options here, but most of them don't actually work. Searching by first or last name doesn't give us any information whatsoever. We need to search by box number. When we look at the entry for box 12, we find out that it's owned by someone named Otis Pike, who lives at 316 West Wilford Street in Grafton. There is one more interesting option here where it says enter down with the man. You might think that would be associated with this quest, but it's not. It was actually part of an unmarked quest that was added to the game before Wastelanders as a bit of a teaser for the new big content drop. So it's not relevant to what we're doing here. But now we know where the owner of Box 12 lived. His name was Otis Pike, and he lived in Grafton. And that's exactly where we'll go next time. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the conclusion or any of the other Fallout 76 content I post every week on the channel. If you're already subscribed, thank you, and be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, or follow me on Twitter. I do hope I see all of you next time when we find out more of Grafton Steel's secrets and learn exactly what happened to Freddy Wood. Till then, I'm Fisty McRib.